Okay, so we're here today. I want to talk about compare and contrast the use of plastics in higher end architectural applications to the use of glass, and particularly in translucent glazings. I'm going to show you a real life example of what happens over time and how your choice of materials will impact a number of things, including look of the building over time. Very, very important when people invest a lot of money in a good looking building, and maintenance, disruption, and ultimately carbon footprint when we have to replace things early. So I'm at Cape Breton University, Nova Scotia, Canada, latitude 46. Decent amount of sunlight, not heavy sunlight like we're in Florida or somewhere like that, but a decent amount of sunlight. Sun beats up plastics. Okay. Anyway, this building, this is the Student Culture and Heritage Center. Cape Breton University houses some student life stuff, and it houses the administration of the university. It's sort of an entryway building for the university. It was built in 1996, and so you're talking 27 years old, I guess now, by the quick math I'm doing in my head, and. Built by an architect was named Spiro Triffus. He was a local Nova Scotia architect. Nice building, neoclassical style, very nicely done, makes a good impression when you drive up on it. Built well, built out of materials like concrete, stone, ceramic, glass, aluminum, but they've also used plastic in it. And we're gonna go in here, we're gonna go in the translucent glazing that they use in this. Some was put in original in 1996. We got some glass that was put in 2001, and we have another plastic skylight that was put in somewhere around 2005, I believe, in a reno. And we're going to compare them and just think a little bit about the impact in architecture and construction of this type. So let's walk in and let's have a look in the defining feature of this building, which is called the Great Hall. So here we are inside the Great Hall. Defining feature. You enter this building, often it's the entryway to the university itself for visitors. We walk inside, we got this great hall. It's got volume, it's got loft, very neoclassical in style. And the architect decided to use a translucent ceiling, really large skylight running end to end in this architectural feature, and chose to use plastic. 1996, this plastic went up. And unfortunately, it has not aged well. We look up at that plastic, we see the south side, which has been exposed to sunlight, has undergone some really harsh color change. You can see it inside here, and all light comes into the south side. It's darkened so much, it's got a yellow, nicotine-y, darkened, and the light that comes through has a greenish yellow cast to it, and just really hasn't aged well. Well, everything else in this building still looks pristine, still looks like the day it was built. So it's just absolutely out of place. So we think about the implications of that. And one thing that's happening when you look at this, you'll see a construction railing around the roof. They're going after only 27 years in a building like this. They're going to have to rip that whole roof off and interfere with their whole function of the university and replace that, open the building to the elements, which is quite exceptional to have to do in a building of this age. And so it's suffered in aesthetics for the interim period, and finally they got to redo it. And day that people are concerned about carbon footprint, the best roof when you have in a building for carbon footprint is the one you already have, but this one clearly has to be replaced. So let's continue our tour. We're going to show you two more things. I'm going to show you a pyramid skylight, and I'm going to show you glass, and all framed of approximately equal ages, and I'm going to show you how they aged in comparison. So here we are in a common area. It's cafeteria and common area of the university. This place was renovated in, I believe it's early 2000s. I'm going to say 2005-ish, somewhere around there. And I'm just roughly guessing. I know it was after 2000. And they put a plastic skylight in this. And you can see in this thing that is probably 20 years old, if that. And when you look up at that skylight, and again, you can see the south side, and that you can see that deep discoloration. It's got a nicotine-y, yellowish color to it, and because the light's coming on that side of it, the lights that's showing through the skylight, it just puts a yellowish, kind of aged nicotine-style sort of hue on the thing. You know, and again, you look at that and you go, well, that doesn't look very good. And again, it's 20 years, and 20 years in a building in grade A construction. You look around the rest of the building, it's just a beautiful building. So it just doesn't fit. That's going to have to be addressed at some point. So yeah, there we are. And let's go look at the last part of it. Let's go look at what glass does. And I'm going to show you, in contrast to this, I'm going to show you glass that was put in, and it's Solera light diffusing glass. It was put in right around 2000, 2001. I think it was very early 2001 when the project finished. So it's mid-age between this skylight and the Great Hall. And it looks, other than some very, very small blemishes, it looks almost perfect. And the quality of the light is completely different. So let's take a walk. So here we are, a little deeper into the university, other side of the cafeteria from where we saw the pyramid skylight. And we are now, instead of being under plastic, we're under glass. This glass was put in, this is actually one of the very first installations of Solera glass, happened in about 2001. And anyway, so it's been up for what, 22 years or something like. And you can see the fundamentally different character of it. And you can feel the whiteness and the purity of the sunlight coming through here. And so when you look at that material, it's white, same color it was when it put in. It's glass. It's going to be around for the long run. Yeah, the quality of the light's totally different. And in a building, it's made of aluminum glass, stone, concrete, ceramic, et cetera, et cetera. It matches the quality of the build and everything else, and it lasts, and it's going to last the lifetime of the building. So anyway, that's the contrast, that's the comparison. We got plastic at about 27 years, ripping open a grade A building, exposing it to the elements, putting a whole new carbon footprint in. We got a well-deteriorated, under 20-year plastic skylight. And then we have glass that's just going to be there and going to be around, and it's in it for the long run, looks like the day it went in. So that's it. When you're building a building and you want to build it once and you want everything to age at the same rate, you really need to consider that the use of plastic doesn't match, and that you really need to get into glass if you want longevity and you want good looks and timelessness.